Hello and welcome back to my channel. Yes, Bennett's watching Cocomelon. He has to point that out. So if you hear that in the background, I'm sure you guys are used to it by now, or if you have kids, I'm sorry, it follows you everywhere. I know so many of you have been anticipating these kind of videos, and I totally understand. I know when I would watch family vloggers, or I guess anybody in general that would be expecting, I would be so excited for the baby content, and I have been very behind on it, but we've had so much going on between getting a car, finding out we're expecting, moving, Christmas, Kenny starting a new job, adjusting to that schedule, and just being so behind on vlogs that I've wanted to get caught up. So I've really pushed these back, and it makes me a little bit sad because with Hendrix and Bennett I have the earlier footage. I have been taking kind of some notes here and there of what I can remember. I am 19 weeks pregnant, which seems insane. So I'm gonna try not to bore you too much with what happened at the beginning of my pregnancy, but it is something that I want to be able to look back on. I found out kind of a little bit later than most. I really pushed it back because I was going through a really hard time with my mental health. Like, I was not in a very good place at all, and so I was not really prepared to see those two pink lines. Obviously my test was positive. If you haven't seen that video, I will link it down below if you're curious to see that, or you haven't seen it. Like I said, I was going through a really hard time mentally. If you have kind of followed my vlogs here and there, you probably understand why. If you're new, you can go watch some of my older vlogs, not necessarily older, but probably about even 6 months ago, and it'll kind of give you an idea of where I was mentally, our situation we were in. I was dealing with that, and then also Kenny and I's relationship was probably at rock bottom. We were on very thin ice with things, and so I felt like this pregnancy, it was going to be like the final thing to like destroy us, I guess is what's coming to mind. So I was really scared that I was going to resent this baby, that okay, if things just continue to fall apart and things don't get better, I might resent this baby, I might feel a certain way. And then I also had the feelings of like, don't want people to think this is a band-aid baby. Like, I know I have seen so many couples go through that, where they try to have a baby to fix their relationship, and I know that is the worst thing you could probably do. So I was scared of coming on here and being like, yeah, we're in such a rough spot, but I'm pregnant. And this pregnancy was not planned by any means, so I was really just struggling to find the bond with this baby. So after some time, the kids are becoming more aware. We have our first appointment, and they see the baby, they're hugging my belly, and Hendrix especially kissing it all the time, saying he's so excited. I also took the initiative on myself because I knew how hard this was on our relationship, that Kenny and I didn't really talk about it, if I'm being honest. We weren't really making it a conversation, and so I took the initiative of, I'm going to download the baby app that I had. I love the Pregnancy Plus app. I used it with, is that yummy? I used it with both Hendrix and Bennett, and I'm now using it again in this pregnancy. But it really helped to see how the baby's growing, how big they are, what they're doing this week, what they look like in a 3D ultrasound, or just ultrasound in general. I feel those two things really helped show me that it's going to be okay, that this baby's not going to be any less loved. I want to normalize those feelings because I know there are so many women out there who can probably relate, and not everybody can just be jumping for joy. And I want to normalize the way that I felt in the beginning, because I know so many women, like I said, go through that. I feel my first symptoms were pretty, I don't know, like textbook. I had a little bit of nausea in the morning. I had extreme hunger. I was really tired. I had probably the most cramping that I've had in any of my pregnancies. So I was a little crampy in here and in my back, kind of ached. So it's just your normal symptoms. I was craving chips and salsa a lot. Like, I would get like the Toseonevloggers jars, just like the, I don't know, regular size ones, and I would eat like half of the jar in one day because I just couldn't get enough of it. And then I'm a big coffee drinker. Well, I wouldn't say a big coffee drinker. Like, I don't have multiple cups a day, but my normal coffee in the morning, I couldn't have. I couldn't have coffee, period. It made me just want to throw up. So one day Kenny watched me pour it out and he's like, yep, you're definitely pregnant because you did the same thing with Bennett. At my first week appointment, they weighed me and I gained 10 pounds, which sounds like quite a bit. I was 12 weeks along and I don't know if that's, I mean, they didn't say anything, so I guess it isn't bad to gain that much weight. But if talking about weight triggers you, please skip past this part. I really don't want to be that person. I don't want to trigger you in any way. Like I said, I was in a very deep depression. I could barely get myself to eat. It made me so sick that I just felt like my body was kind of rejecting it. One day I got on the scale and I saw the numbers, 92 pounds, and I wanted to cry because I knew how unhealthy that was. And I'm like, I'm literally doing this to my body. My depression was that severe. I'd be lying if I said that I didn't struggle just a little bit with knowing I had gained some weight, because it seemed like overnight I could see it in my face, my hips, my thighs. I am constantly having to remind myself that like my body's doing beautiful things. It is growing human life. This is what my body needs to do to keep the baby healthy and me healthy. And so I'm really trying to keep those positive thoughts within myself. Aside from the weight gain, everything looked good. My blood pressure, baby's heart rate was 171. I kind of mentioned this in a vlog around, you know, when I had my first appointment, but I am seeing the same doctor that actually delivered Hendrix, and it was just the craziest thing because when we moved back and I found out I was pregnant, I was like, I already know who I want to see. He was absolutely amazing. I had a lot of complications with my delivery with my first, and he just made me feel, you know, very comfortable with the choices that he was making or decisions he was making. I went to look to see if he was still at that office, and he wasn't, so I thought maybe he wasn't in practice. Did a little bit of Googling, found the office he was at, immediately made an appointment, and when he walked into the office to, you know, obviously examine baby, he was like, I am so excited to see you on my chart again. Like, it's so cool that you're here, especially for this reason. And like, he was just so excited to see me, and I was like, how the heck do you even remember me after 6 years? Like, I haven't seen you in 6 years as my doctor. So that was really crazy. I was, you know, prepared for him to walk in and be like, yeah, you delivered my firstborn, and I didn't even have to do that because he, you know, remembered who I was. For my second appointment, that is when they did all of my blood work, and the nurse was amazing. It didn't hurt at all. I know sometimes, like, I think with Hendrix, the person that did mine, like, it was the most painful thing, and I remember like having to throw up right after. Anyways, yeah, they did my blood work. Everything came back great. All my levels look perfect. I didn't gain any weight, and baby's heart rate, I believe, dropped to like the 140, 150 range, which I know is completely normal. A lot of my symptoms had like kind of subsided for, you know, several weeks there. And we did set up my anatomy scan for February 11th. And then they just called the other day to reschedule because my doctor is going to be out of town. So we switched it to February 14th, which is obviously Valentine's Day. So, you know, it's just a 3-day little span there. I feel a lot of people are predicting a girl. I don't have predictions. I don't have a preference. I have 2 boys, and so I'm like, well, I know how to be a boy mom, and I love being a boy mom. I don't really know what I would do with a girl. I know I would love her, and I'm sure it'd be so fun to like have that change and be able to buy all the bows and, you know, all the cutesy things, but I honestly would be happy either way. You'll have to let me know what you think the baby is. I know a few of you are like, I'm rooting for a girl, but I don't know. I don't feel one way or another. I am now 19 weeks pregnant, and I feel like mentally I'm doing a lot better. I'm more accepting. You know, some days I still struggle here and there, but I'd say most of the time I'm really accepting, and I'm enjoying watching my belly grow, and, you know, still looking through the app, which actually I don't even think I've looked at the app to see what's going on for 19 weeks. So maybe I'll kind of flip over to that for a second so we can look at it together. Baby is about 10 inches long and 10.5 ounces. Your baby will now be developing more regular sleep patterns by now, and you may become aware of them, especially since most babies get more active when mom tries to go to sleep. At this point in your baby's development, most of the energy is utilizing gaining weight. The placenta has reached its maximum thickness and is busy supplying your baby all the nutrients and oxygen and disposing of the waste. That's actually really cool. I was also gonna say, along with that mental health, like, I wasn't taking any baby bump pictures. I don't think I started taking any pictures until I was like maybe 16 weeks, 17 weeks, just because like I said, I was struggling so hard to find that bond with this baby. My symptoms for 19 weeks are my boobs are sore. I feel like that's also really normal. So I almost never wear a bra. I need to find some like comfortable bras. Like I've been loving these like sets from Abercrombie. This is just like a, I don't know, not even necessarily a crop top. Well, yeah, I guess you could say a crop top because it goes to like right above my hips. But it's been super comfortable, and like you really can't tell that I'm not wearing a bra. I have some nausea in the morning, more or less after I eat breakfast. So like if I have like a bowl of cereal or, you know, breakfast sandwich, yogurt, whatever I choose, like I just feel a little bit sick after, and I'm like, I can't tell if I'm gonna throw up or if it's just gonna pass. I have only thrown up once this pregnancy, and I don't even think it was pregnancy related. I was really sick with something. So if you have watched the vlogs, then you know that I was sick around Christmas, and then I got a little bit better, and then I got really sick again after that. I just recently started feeling the baby move, and when I mean just recently, I mean like yesterday. I was really worried because with Hendrix and Bennett, I had felt them both by now, and I think even by this point, Kenny was able to feel like the teeny tiny kicks. Like leading up to like being 19 weeks, it was like I still haven't felt the baby. I don't know if it's okay. And then I got the call that they're pushing my appointment back even more. So I was like, okay, well now I'm even more stressed because that's even longer that I have to wait. And I don't know, like I was just really stressing that the baby wasn't okay. And so I felt very relieved when I felt the baby yesterday. I was like, oh my gosh, like there's a baby in there and the baby's okay. My notes are so out of order. I think it's because I was like, oh, I want to talk about this and I want to talk about this and I want to talk about this, and I just, yeah, it's all over the place. So I apologize. But something else that really helps my mental health, you know, Bennett's almost 2, and I could not stand the thought of breastfeeding anymore. I was over it several months ago. But I felt it was nearly impossible because he was co-sleeping with us. We didn't have room for a crib in our little space. So like he really had no other option than to sleep with us. Like it was like the safest thing for him, considering the circumstances. And so I felt obligated to keep breastfeeding him because that is what soothed him. And because we were going through such a hard time, anything that was comforting to my kids, I wanted to keep. Like I'm still breastfeeding. I found out that I'm pregnant, and like I just instantly want to be done because I'm like, there is no way that I'm gonna keep up with this whole breastfeeding thing, have a baby, and then breastfeed for another almost 2 years or however long my body allows me. As soon as we moved here, that was like my #1 thing, is to, well, it wasn't quite right away. Like I obviously wanted him to adjust to, you know, having a home. This is his room, this is mom and dad's room, you know, have that adjustment period. You know, these last couple of weeks I put my foot down and I just said no more breastfeeding. Like I cannot take it. My mental health cannot take it. I'm not getting any sleep at night. He was waking multiple times a night. Anytime he would stir, he'd want a nurse, and I couldn't do it anymore. So alongside with weaning, we have also done sleep training. He's still waking at least once or twice a night, but I can easily like rock him back to sleep. Or when I put him down for a nap, he might open his eyes for a second, but he realizes like, okay, I'm in my bed, I'm okay, and he'll just go right back to sleep. So I feel like we're getting to a very good point with that, and it has also helped my mental health so much because I feel like I have a little bit of my body back. I can enjoy me and my space for a little bit of time, you know, before this new baby comes. The last thing that I wrote down for what I wanted to talk about was my cravings. Pickles. Kenny bought like a jar of pickles and we literally ate the whole jar in like 2 days. Super random, but it's like I couldn't just have one, and now they just always sound so good. Like, do you ever just like think of a pickle and you're like, you know how it tastes and like the sourness of it almost, and it's just like, okay, now I need a pickle. I've seen people post on Instagram of like the Little Debbie ice cream cartons, and I was like, okay, I need zebra cakes like right now. And I don't think I've had like a prominent craving to that extent like it was with the zebra cakes. Like it was 10 o'clock at night, I was like, I need this right now. Not the ice cream version, but just zebra cakes. Like I need it right now. So the next morning, that was like the first thing I went and did after dropping Hendrix off. I would say that my cravings are definitely a lot sweeter. So like zebra cakes have been probably like my #1 right now for like sweet things that I like. I've kind of alternated, like cookie dough ice cream was really good to me for a little bit. now I'm kind of over that. I'm on to zebra cakes. I believe that is everything for this pregnancy update. If I missed anything or you want me to talk about something, like, please feel free to like let me know down below. I can either answer you directly there or in a vlog or in another pregnancy update. Like if there's something you'd like me to throw into these updates, I would be so happy to. But I feel like I touched on most things. I feel like I'm still kind of early in the pregnancy where it's like really not much is going on. I will finish off with like a little belly shot for you guys because I feel like that's like the most exciting thing of the whole pregnancy update. Aside from that, thank you for watching and I will see you in our next video. Here is one side, the front, the other side. I definitely feel like I popped this week. Baby's definitely there. Now would you wake up?